We deserve today because the amount of chances we've created today was like Tuesday, I think, again in Forest, a lot again. And we were close to again go off without a win. And that combined with the late winner was where we mostly happy about. And because it was a significant game.
I thought we did a lot of things right. I think we defended very well when we had to. I don't think, of course, we gave some opportunities away, but not too big. I think we handled the difficult situations very well. We know when a little bit of open space they are dangerous, and had to do well those situations, which I thought we did. Yeah, it's a little bit tough to take, but I'm pleased with the performance.
Darwin, I think since the day he came in, he brings a lot of energy, and obviously as a striker, you are judged by your goals. When you don't score, I think for him is maybe even tougher than ever, and he's working hard and he's learning, and today he had a massive part to the victory, and I think it was well deserved.
He's always having a lot of impact when he comes in because he brings a lot of energy and power, and most of our games, not all of them, but most of them, or especially last half hour, we completely dominate in and around the 18-yard box, and that's where he's at his best. To have someone like Darwin who can score a goal is nice to have on the bench.
For me, this is the best team in the Premier League right now, best team in the world right now, and I think they're a huge favourite to win it. I know they need to play down, and in football you never know, so they need to take it game by game, but right now they are.
Arne, well done. What a mix of emotions, a lot of frustrations with the amount of chances you guys were creating and not able to score, but finally 2 goals. So how can you sum it all up?
You almost did this for me. It had a lot of similarities with our game on Tuesday when we played Forest. So many chances, so much better. Although I think today Brentford had more counter-attacks and was more of a threat than Forest was on Tuesday. But again, it looked as if we didn't get what we deserved, in my opinion at least. But in the end, we were able to score 2. And now I don't only have to talk about the performance, but I can also talk about the result.
What was it about the way they were defending that was making it so hard for you guys to take these chances? Because you mentioned the similarities with Forest. Was there any similarities in this sense?
Yeah, it's not that these two teams are the same, because Brentford is also pressing high. They take the risk of going man v man, where Forest is for most part of the game going into a low block. But Brentford also drops into a low block if necessary, and then if you get a chance with 5, 6, 7 or 8 bodies inside the box, or you get a chance with only 1 or 2, that is of course a difference, because there's always someone that is throwing himself in front of the ball, closing a certain corner where you prefer to hit the ball. And that is part of our game, because we always dominate possession, and we like to dominate possession. But the spaces are really tight then to score your goals.
Darwin Núñez is a very unique player. How is it to manage a player that can produce moments like this but doesn't deliver them consistently? What is important when you're managing a player like this?
I think there are hardly any players in the world that can perform every single second of the game on the same level. But I'm fortunate enough to have many players that can perform at a high level on a regular basis. And Darwin showed today again how important he was when he came off the bench. But not only him, I think Curtis and Harvey had an impact on the game as well. Harvey with the ball towards Trent, which Trent assisted to Darwin, and in the second goal I even think Harvey assisted the goal. So it's one of our strengths that I can even strengthen the team with players that come off from the bench, and as long as they stay fit, I'm able to do so. So let's hope they can stay fit, and I'm able to impact the game with players that come off the bench.
Defensively, keeping a clean sheet against Brentford is very significant for the way they play, the aggression that they show. What was important in keeping this clean sheet, especially because you were anticipating a lot of their movements as well?
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, but I felt as if most of their chances came from moments where we were attacking their box, and they had with a lot of bodies low, and then we were not always able to have our counter press perfect, so to dive onto the ball. So they were able, because of they have good players as well, to play out of that press. And it's a team that's really fit. We saw their numbers when they played City, so they ran a lot in this game. And again today, we and they had to run a lot. So ideally you prevent them from counter-attacking, but the good thing from my point of view was that if they had a counter-attack, I saw many players of us sprinting back with them, which is necessary because they have the quality to hurt you in a counter-attack today.
And finally, 37 shots, 2 goals. If I'm being too demanding, is there a worry when you're creating so many chances and it takes you 90 plus minutes to kill off a game? Thinking about teams who are fighting for the title, the Premier League title, this level.
Yeah, but I always see these things like this goes up and down. So what I mean with that is that in certain games you have 5 or 6 chances and you score 2 or 3, and now we had a lot of shots. The good thing is that almost every game of us is like this. We have many, many, many more shots than the team we mostly face. Not every game, but mostly. And as long as we keep doing that, we give ourselves a big chance to win the game. Because if this would have ended in a draw, all the people would have told us that we are not as good anymore. And then probably I would have been the one that emphasized on the 37 shots. Now by winning it, you tell me. And people will probably be impressed again. But that's always with the result. And I was also impressed with our game against Forest. But I don't think I was... everybody agreed with me over there, and now maybe a few people more because of the results.
To score, especially when you consider they had the most shots by an away team since Opta opted in. They actually scored with their last 2, numbers 36 and 37. They just kept knocking at the door, didn't they? Knocking at the door, and eventually it opened.
Yeah, and it was dramatic, and I enjoyed it. They played like a team, Gary, with a point to prove. They were relentless in their energy, their quality. I think if people were thinking about Liverpool maybe having a blip, it was put to bed today. They've had some results recently where people have questioned them. They've not finished teams off, looked a bit vulnerable in certain games. But today, from minute 1, the relentlessness of them. I mean, this is Simicast, the left-back, trying to get in behind early. But it's not just committing men forward, it's the quality. McAllister, I think he's been brilliant in recent months, leading the team midfield, and they put Brentford on the back foot. They actually risk losing games to win them so often. Look how many men they've got forward. Great options for Szoboszlai ahead of him. He's come back into the team, added some energy and some zest and some tenacity. Counter-attacks, always one of Liverpool's strengths. Salah, who's had a few games now without a goal, unlike him, great pass. You expect Gakpo to do better. They also had good rotation in forward areas as well. There was lots of variation. This is the second half where I think they upped it another gear. 5 against 3. That's Trent in the middle of that 5, by the way, trying to get forward and win the game. And they just wore Brentford out. They just kept at them again and again and again. Should play Diaz in here. Makes the wrong decision. If any criticism of Liverpool today, they should have done better in the positions they got. Finishing, well, decision-making as well as the finishing, Gary. Look, this is how high the back 4 is. Now, Brentford did cause them some problems on the counter. But you've got to make risky passes. You've got to try and get it in there. Little intricate passes, and Diaz again unlucky, keeper plays well. Then we'll talk about strength in depth that maybe other teams don't have. Liverpool have it in abundance. It was Jota at Forest. Nunez should do better there. It's a poor finish, but he stays in the area where you want a striker to be, which encourages more crosses. And the other substitutions work well as well. But this again, it's poor finishing. Games, you shouldn't be leaving it to 90 minutes. You can't do that every week. These are the other players I'm talking about. Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones was on the pitch. And this is the goal. Get a bit of luck there, deservedly so, when you're constantly in the opposition box. And that could do Darwin Nunez the world of good moving forward as the season progresses, because we're going to need everyone. They weren't happy with the one. You'd think they might drop off and protect. No, not this Liverpool side. Here's the 4 subs. Chiesa came off the bench as well, which is good to see. Harvey Elliott makes the right choice. And because his confidence up, he smashes in the second. And I think it's great to see his teammates celebrating with him. When you're going through a bad spell, not that you went through one as a striker, Gary, but, you know. I think it's great that the lads come up to him, give him a hug and make him feel part of it.
I'm going through one now. Will you give me a hug?
Let's wait till after the show.
Thomas Frank said they're the best team in the world right now. Now, obviously, people say, well, you've got to win the title first and you've got to win probably the Champions League time. He's probably right.
I agree with him. Yeah, right now, I think that what Danny said, the strength of the squad. I think they've got the strongest squad at the minute. They're unbeaten away. I do think they're going to win the league, and then I think they've got their sights on the Champions League. And if they do that, then we can say they're the best team in the world right now, yeah.
Yep, they're taking some stopping, that's for sure. So, over to...
Yeah, 4 points from the 2 away games this week for Liverpool. What happened there in the 91st and 93rd minute, Tim? Did that have the hallmark of what champions do?
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't happening from certainly in front of goal, but when you can make changes like that. I mean, he's bringing on Harvey Elliott, Nunez, who's scored a couple of goals, Curtis Jones,
Chiesa.
and Chiesa. Yeah. I mean... That just says everything. I mean, they're strong, they're all fit, they're healthy at the moment, Liverpool players. Konate looks like he's back to his best there with Van Dijk as well. I just think they've just got to have the full package. You know, if they're not ripping people apart, you know, they all know their jobs. The manager's done a fantastic job since he's come in for Jurgen Klopp, who we loved in the Premier League, but he's completely different. You know, he looks... I mean, it's easy to be as calm as he is when you're winning every week. He lost one game and drawn 3. You know, all season. It's just magnificent what he's done at that football club. But it makes a difference. The other teams who are chasing, I don't think they've got a stronger squad as Liverpool have got. And, you know, the manager seems every change he makes. I mean, in the week, he brings on Tsimikas and, you know, and Jota, and they link up to score the equaliser at Forest.
22 seconds, yeah.
And then Jota's injured today, not available. But then Darwin Núñez steps up 20 minutes after coming on.
Well, whatever we say about Darwin Núñez, we could see he can be a bit hit and miss. Today he was hit, and so you have to take that. You to be able to bring somebody on at that late stage and who has an impact like he does is what champions do. You know, you look back at the games. They'll probably look back at a game like this, come the end of the season if they do get it done, and they'll say, yeah. We could say whatever you want about how many chances he misses, but in this particular instance, he came on and won a game for us that kind of like helped us, handed it to us almost. So that's what you get. You know, yes, he costs 85 million. Yes, he's like I mentioned, he's hit and miss, but in this instant, you got a striker that you could take off the bench that can score and do that for you. Yeah. It's worth his weight in gold, isn't he? He's worth his weight in gold.
He gives you something different, right? Then he's the cult hero, isn't he, with a fan. You know, scoring big goals like that is not going to harm him.
No.
You know, Alexander-Arnold was magnificent today as well. I mean, like say that cross, but the game's done now. I mean, it's right towards the end of the game, but Harvey Elliott picks his head up, was at the right time, fantastic touch, and smashes it past the goalkeeper. Gives him absolutely no chance, but he gives you something different. He's not silky. He's in his play. He's not as fluid as the front players. Sometimes they're playing with no 9. You've got the Mo Salahs drifting off there. They've got Gakpo threatens to go off the left-hand side. But this boy, they just stick him up there and they just say, go and cause havoc, do what you can do. And that's what he does.
And he does it. He won't want this tag, but he does it effectively off the bench. I mean, John Duran, we've talked that at length all season. He's only one behind him as a substitute.
There's a different pressure. You know, obviously when he starts games, we've seen how busy he can be, the channels, works hard. He never gives anybody a moment's peace. But I think it might suit someone like him in the way his personality is and the way he finishes so intermittently. You know what I mean? He's so, hit and miss. To come off the bench, you're not under any pressure. You know, if you do get the chance and you take it, you're a hero. If you don't, they say, maybe you should have started. But that might suit him. That might suit his personality better, you know, to come off the bench and make that impact because both of those goals, good movement, got himself right in the middle of the goal for the first one, which Trent found him, like you mentioned, Tim, was brilliant the way he found him. But the second one, when we're talking about, but he doesn't make the right decision when he's got time to think. That ball came across, took it with the outside of the foot and smashed it in. The touch could have easily have gone wrong because he had a lot of people around him. But in that moment, he felt very confident. He'd done it very, very well.
It's just the difference. Liverpool have always had that man who comes off the bench, haven't they?
Since David Fairclough, all those years
ago. Always had that man. So he seems to be that boy. You don't want to be tagged with that. But certainly you want to be in a team what looks like they're going to lift trophies. And for me, they're the favourites to do it. They're in the driving seat without a shadow of a doubt because the strength of the squad. The squad
and in particular
so
the attacking options because obviously Diaz, Gakpo and Salah at the moment are the first choice for the 3 and then you've got Jota and then you've got Núñez who've both come off the bench this week and scored crucial goals.
Like you mentioned with Jota, who he's probably their best finisher.
Yeah.
You know, he's been unfortunate with injuries and then you've got if you got a call on one of them two, I believe that one of them's going to come up trumps here at any stage. If you've got them both, even better. But if you could call on one of them, you know that if we're struggling in a game, one of them will come on and they will do something.
Jota was on that list. He's got 6 off the bench as well. Yeah, I mean, just doing the job. But they know it's in-house competition is massive, right here to tell you. When you're playing, if you're the only one and you become comfortable and you're not getting pushed. In training every single day, we're all fighting. Everyone wants to play in the big games to lift the trophies at the end and get in the shot, get with the shirt on, with the mud on your shirt, actually take part in the game. That is what they're going to get now, and they fight for each other's positions, and it's healthy.
OK, so Liverpool still unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. They went first. Then it was over to Arsenal, who...
What a finish. How good does that feel?
Very good, very good. Obviously, I think a well-deserved victory. Clean sheet, tough place to come, and on to the next.
I know it's only January, but does that still feel like a big, significant result?
Every win is a big result, especially when the teams around us are very strong. They obviously strengthen themselves as well, probably. So we have to stay consistent, win games, and perform well.
Tell us about the goal scorer, Darwin. How pleased are you for him? How much does he deserve moments like this?
Well, you have to earn these things, and I think obviously as a striker you get judged on goals, and especially at a club like Liverpool. And obviously today he put his mark on the game with the 2 goals, and very important. So that's what we need. We need everyone at their best, contributing to good success. And today it was his day.
You say you need everyone at their best. Were you at your best for that first 90 minutes of this game as a team?
I think so, yeah. Don't you think so?
37 shots and, just needed injury time to get over the line.
Well, if you are very analysed well, then obviously Brentford away is a very difficult place to come. They have a very clear structure. Obviously, you try to break a low block down at times, and if you lose the ball, sometimes you can get a counter-attack around you, and you have to defend that in the best way possible, and I think we did. Obviously, they created some moments, some danger moments. I think they created those kind of moments against any team in the league. But we handled it well. We created many moments as well, and could have scored more. But we take the 2-0 and move on.
You've won titles before. This time of year, you don't win titles. Is it all about sort of getting through, scrapping your way through, finding a way always?
No, it's trying to play your best football ever, every game. You try to perform in the best way possible, and every game I think is a very difficult game. There is no walk in the park, if people want to say that, because every game teams are very good, and they want to play their best game against us as well, like always. Like we want to play the best game against the opponents, and every game will be a difficult one. And I think if nobody is ready for a bumpy ride, then this season will definitely be one, and hopefully we'll be consistent and winning games and enjoy ourselves as well. Because if you don't enjoy the ride, then it's a difficult score. Sorry.
Looks like you enjoyed it today. Very well played.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Virgil.
Cheers.
For all the mayhem and the celebrations on the pitch, off it with Virgil, very calm.
He was excellent again today. He defends really well. He's very clever, isn't it? He very rarely goes to ground. He ushers the forwards, wherever they are, away from the goal, shutting angles down and then trusting his goalkeeper. So there were moments where Brentford attacked, counter-attacked and got chances, but you didn't feel as if they were ever in any danger, Liverpool. I always felt it was just a matter of time. And listen, they were a little bit fortunate in the end because the goals come so late. But when you've got fresh legs like a Harvey Elliott, like a Curtis Jones, a Nunez, a Andy Robertson come on, a Chiesa, they just overpower you, they just wear you down in the end. And it was, I thought it was well deserved, even though people will speak about, how the goals came eventually and how late they were. But Liverpool were by far the better team.
So the headlines in the end will go to Darwin Nunez. He came off the bench in the 65th minute. In the 91st, with their 36th shot of the game, it eventually told the pressure then, Alan.
Yeah, Trent was brilliant. I mean, the way his first cross is blocked, but the way he reacts and picks Nunez out is just class. It really is, to have that vision and that ability to find him so soon after not getting the first cross to where he wanted it to go, and the reaction is superb, and it's a magnificent finish. As we said, he missed the header maybe 5 or 10 minutes before that, but he was no way he was missing that one. Exactly what Liverpool needed.
Quick thinking from Trent, wasn't it? With that second.
He was brilliant, and I hope people give him the credit he deserves, because they were quick to criticise some of his performances, certainly the Manchester United one, when the team wasn't great. But since then, his response has been excellent. Brilliant against Tottenham when he's played, excellent against Accrington Stanley when he scored the goal. Brilliant again this evening. And it's important that the Liverpool players step up. Mo Salah hasn't been at his best this last, 3, 4, 5 games. But it doesn't matter today, because it's glossed over, because another centre-forward comes on and gets his goal. So when someone's struggling, like a Diaz or like a Salah, not in their best moments, at this moment in time, you've got a Jota, you've got a Nunez, you've got a Gakpo, you've got a Trent, who then they lift their games.
Chiesa as well coming on.
Chiesa coming on, fresh legs, wants to attack, wants to run forward. And they ran forward a lot, the substitutions. So when you run forward past the defenders of the Brentford team, they end up start dropping deep and deep and deep, and that just creates a little bit more space. So I thought they were excellent. They all played the part, particularly for the second goal. I know they countered, but even then, Curtis Jones makes a really good run forward, and it just causes chaos. You know, this is Mo into Chiesa
involved here.
Chiesa into Elliott. All the subs. Look at Curtis Jones' run. He takes another defender away, opens the pitch up. I mean, it should be fair to standards. I'll tell you, the centre forward, that's an easy finish for him. But still, it's Liverpool busting a gut to get forwards and get numbers and get overlaps, and they get the rewards.
They smell blood now, don't they? They got the first goal and they hit them on their counter-attack. Brentford have to commit men forward, which leaves them empty at the back, and the way Liverpool sprinted forward and the numbers that they got forward, and that's a really clever finish. He's full of confidence now with the first one. Head down, hit as hard as you can, and keeper's got no chance. Game over, 3 points.
Yeah. It's always eventful, though, isn't it, when Darwin Núñez is involved? Now, you may have noted he got a yellow carded, actually, after his first goal. He took his shirt off as part of that celebration. And knowing that, we see this, where he catches Nathan Collins a little late. Is he a bit lucky not to have got a second yellow?
Well, of course he is. You know, it's 93, 94 minutes. He's scored 2. He's got a yellow card. Why? I mean, why is he even thinking about diving into that challenge? But this is the package that is Darwin Núñez. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you take it, he does mad things like that. You knew when he come on today after 65 minutes, he would get a yellow card today. Yeah. It's just part of his nature. He can't stop diving into challenges. He can't stop looking at players and wanting to be physical, like when he came on against Manchester United. Yeah. That's just, you have to take it or leave it with him. He misses chances, he scores chances, he gets yellow cards, he batters people. It's just the way he is. He's a full-blooded South American who's still... You can't say he's still learning, because he's been at Liverpool now nigh on 3 years, but he has to temper that anger in the right way.
Was he fortunate, Alan?
Yeah, I think he was fortunate, yeah. I mean, there was so many challenges I've seen like that being given a yellow card. So with him on 1 yellow card already, he was slightly fortunate, absolutely, yeah.
OK, let's go to the 2 other games that have also come to a conclusion in the Premier League. There's a London derby.
See the disappointment in the face of Gabriel Martinelli there. Did that feel significant? We've just watched Liverpool, and then what happened from 2-0 to 2-2?
Without a doubt, Steve. You know, you're 2-0 up at home. You know, going into a game where you know it's going to be a difficult game for you. You end up finding yourself 2-0 up, and you end up drawing 2-2. It's tough. It's tough for Arsenal. You know, they're down to the bare bones with what they're doing. I think you look at the bench. You know, you look at the bench, and there's not even an attacker on there that's got a Premier League goal this season. You know, it's very bare. You know, you've got a midfielder playing right back. You know, it's something that's not really worked out for us. I don't think we've won. I think we've won 1 game out of 6 when Thomas Partey's played there. It's a vulnerable position for us, and unfortunately for me, again, I'll say I think the manager needs a lot of help from the board now. I don't think he could do very much more with what he's got. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to be continuing to use Thomas Partey at right back if you've got options, and he needs options, attacking and maybe defending.
It's a startling statistic on the back of what we've just been talking about with Nunez and Jota at Liverpool, to not have an attacker with a Premier League goal this season.
Yeah, and they've missed out over the last couple of years.